Hey, 5 minutes late, but better late than never. Come on in, folks. We see you out there. No Glenn yet this morning. Kind of hoping he would show up and said he was going to be here. We'll see what happens. Got some crummy stuff to look at this morning.
Crummy.
Robert. So, folks, we're going to run the opening. Chat's live. We're live. It's the 4th of July. So you're here in the States. Happy Independence Day. And if you know Russ is, you're just happy to be rid of us. So there you are.
Yeah, I wish I was there at the moment.
It's a laugh a minute here, folks. Anyway, I'll run the opening. We'll get stuff underway. Here we go. Right. What was there? There we are. Here we are.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
There we are. Comics by Night, folks. July 4th, 2025. Glad you're here with us. We're going to take a look at Robert Crumb. Some Crumb material, and I have to warn everybody up front as I enlarge myself here. I'm your host, by the way, Randy Zimmerman. Enlarge myself here.
I would enlarge yourself out.
We're going to be looking at the Love to 10 book. And this is Robert Crumb's collection of Robert Crumb's comics from the early Zap Comix, the start of the underground movement, really, at least as far as I'm concerned. And really the start of the independent movement as well. Black and white little underground books. And the book that I'm looking at is a limited edition, but don't be upset. It is very old. It is, there was a limited to 3,000. It's got a couple little coffee stains on it. But this was printed back during those days, and there were days back then when printing these books weren't exactly the best. And sometimes pages will fall out, and the spine was the glue they used for the spine on the book goes incredibly bitter after a little bit of time. So you're going to see me foible around with this book with pages probably popping out and the spine cracking and all of that. But don't fret. It's already in pieces. So believe me when I tell you it's a reading copy. So we're going to look at that. The second warning that I have to give you is this. We're looking at Robert Crumb today.
There will be illustrated boobs.
One of the major underground artists of our time, if not the most major underground artist of our time. And yeah, there's going to be underground subjects covered today, which means that we're going to get into adult topics. You're going to probably see some a little bit of nipplage, and not. I don't think there's a whole lot of nudity here, just a whole lot of creativeness and crazy imagination. And it's not his most adult work, but it's not his least adult work either. So Robert Crumb has done a number of amazing works over the years, and everything from books on or stories of incest to adaptation of the book of Genesis. So from the Bible. And if you know Crumb's work, or you're up on his media, you've seen some of the drawings that he's done. He's just an amazing artist with pen and pencil, with ink and paper. And you're in for a treat today. I've been wanting to cover this for a while. Been a little leery about what YouTube might say about it, but we're just going to go ahead and do it, and we'll see how it goes.
I put an age certificate on my video, so
say what?
I've got an age certificate on mine. It's 18 plus video. So
yep, this is not a video for kids, but the chat is open. We encourage everybody to talk and let us know what's going on. Marv is already in the house saying good morning. Good morning. Happy 4th of July and congratulations on the 140K new jobs. Unemployment at 4.1%, lower prices, secured borders, and getting America great again. See you Sunday. Oh my goodness. Marvy, everyone will think you're a Trumper. We try not to talk politics on this show, but I appreciate your comment.
I think what he stated there were simply facts. There's no bias.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Not to the poor, unfortunate people in desperate need of counseling over their TDS situation. So.
Some people are just crazy.
We got
a lot of them here.
And that too. Well, they're everywhere.
All leading our government.
Pretty much into politics, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're on our way into the channel. All of us, which is just sinking.
See that look, while they're talking. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. Arrow Comics is my thing. Lately, I've been writing the Atlantean for Russ over there to illustrate. And it's the adventures of Cull and Brule off of the Shadow Kingdom. Ingenious, incredible work of genius by Robert E. Howard that's in public domain. We adapted that a few months back, and now we're taking those characters and continuing them on in the Atlantean. We have 2 volumes out already. Russ is deep into the 3rd volume, about to start the inking stage. We're hoping to start that campaign here in a couple of weeks. And I won't say halfway through, but I'm getting close into the script for issue 4 already. Very happy with the plots on all of them. Can't wait for you to read these books. Both Russ and I are incredibly proud of them, and we can't promote them to you enough. So anyway, Russ, joining me this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Like Randy said it all.
I got my bell. Oh my God.
Oh no, but don't break the bell. Yeah, I'm Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK, and yes, I'm working currently on the Atlantean. You will find out more about that. Go to my website, russleach.com, and you can sign up for the email list. There's also a merch page there where you can go and buy issue 1 and 2 from Critical Blast or Amazon or whatever. But sign up for the email list so you can keep up to date, and we'll let you know when the campaigns start, when the books are out to retail, and soon, hopefully, when those books are available for distribution to comic book shops as well. That's it. I'm done.
Yep. There. Just trying to get coordinated here. Haha.
He's waving. There you go.
There.
Ooh. Preparation.
There we are.
There you go. Directly from the library of Randy Zimmerman. There you go.
From the dark, deep reaches of my library, by the way.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But like I said, when I opened this book up, first thing that
happened, look at that, yeah.
Everything started cracking open. I went, it's one of those books.
Yeah. You can blow the screen up.
Yeah. There was a period there. Yeah, you'll see pages flying. You think I'm uncoordinated now. Just give me a second. We'll start having pages flying on the floor here in no time. Let me edit out my name here. I'd be more coordinated if I had a little more coffee, I think. There we are. Love to 10. Collection of.
Need to blow the screen up.
From stories. Yeah, well, some things don't need to be blown up. Here we are.
There we are.
10. Hey.
It's good. That is the perfect distance for that camera. It seems to like. Is that a standard comic book size book?
Really close, if not just a little smaller.
It does seem to like that size, doesn't it? Yeah.
There's a standard comic size right there.
Does seem to like it.
So it's really close to it.
You see that really clearly, although it keeps pulsing, but never mind.
It's all that autofocus and in front of it there. It's the cover for Zap Zero.
Look at all that work.
The comic that plugs you in. Yeah.
Would he use just brush?
Hand and a ruler. Yeah. Brush.
Did he use the brush or did he use a quill pen or?
I think it's a combination of both.
Right.
Depending upon the technique that he's using. I do think he has a pen point preference, though. On a lot of his stuff, it just it adds to his style. Look, all the wood grain here on the floor, and just everything on this is working. Zap Comix sprung out of Last Gasp, I believe. Yeah. Apex Publishing out of San Francisco. And they would have never, this is part of the fun of the history of comics. The underground movement would have never started if it wasn't for Harvey Kurtzman, who was in San Francisco, putting together a magazine that he called Trump. Amazing, coincidentally.
Funnily enough.
Yeah. And then printed a few issues of Help magazine. And I might have that reversed. He might have done Help first and then Trump. He tried to get a regular magazine out, and he was using local talent for cartoon and illustration work. And he ended up running across all of these great hippie artists over in San Francisco in the Haight-Ashbury district. That included Crumb and Sheridan and a bunch of the really big underground guys. And he told them, hey, you probably print your own comics. At the time, the Comic Code Authority was being really restrictive. This is the mid to late 60s. And, the drug culture was starting and the hippie culture was going on. And Kurtzman was on the West Coast because he was fed up with the East Coast, because he had just gotten done editing Mad for a few years and working with the EC gang. So it's all one large chain that's all interconnected. And these guys, these artists, underground artists, or the cartoonists over on the West Coast decided they should start printing their own books. So they started printing inexpensive black and white newsprint books. Zap Comix, they all contributed a couple of pages apiece and stuck it together and put it out there for sale, I believe, originally for 75 cents. And they would have to go through and keep every time they changed the price. I think this one doesn't have a price to start with. They eventually started putting little red stickers with prices on it. Every time they went back to print, they had to raise the price up a little higher. So Tank Ferret in the house says good morning. Good morning, Tank. Thanks for joining us. And again, this underground material, it's going to get a little adult. Not a little, but we recommend it for adults.
That Zap as well, the text there, Zap Comix, he would have done that by hand as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this
everything.
Is all, everything was done by hand at this point.
Brilliant.
Physical and by hand. Mr. Sketchum is at it again. Kind of a self-portrait there in his youth. Oh, that's me bumping the tripod. We looked at some of this material, this meatball story especially, that we're looking at here. That was in the comics, Les Daniels comics book, the history of comic books in America, that we looked at for a few episodes a couple months back. It's about a group of people and we're just walking down the street and they are attacked by meatballs.
This is just stupid. Meatball. She changed her life.
Completely changes their life. You see it right from the start here. Crumb's got an individual style. He's really knocking everything out of the park, and he's being very very crazy. The undergrounds really tested the limits of public decency when it came to comics, almost as a direct reaction to the Comic Code Authority that was raging hard at the time. Tank says, I preferred R. Crumb into giving me a portfolio review. I pestered R. Crumb into giving me a portfolio review when I was a teenager. Changed the entire trajectory of my art career. There you go. Yeah. Yep. I only got to meet him once. I had him sign a couple of Zap comics that I was too lazy to dig up for today's show. Might do it for the next one. And got to talk to him and tell him, how much I appreciated his work. It was at the same convention as they had Jim Lee there. So it's a few years into Image. So he was he's treated like an e-ticket ride at Disneyland. They were giving away specifically lettered tickets for you to join the line to talk to Jim Lee. In the meantime, Robert Crumb and Harvey Pekar sat at a table that you could just walk up to, shake their hand, tell them how much you enjoyed their work, and get them to sign whatever you wanted. So anyway, I'm looking back on it. I really should have spent more time at that table. More meatball.
Meatball.
Look at that. It's an authentic coffee stain over here, folks. Right there. A little bit of coffee spillage in my youth. All right. Meatball. Smack. All right. New enlightenment by getting smacked by a meatball. Around 3 years ago, meatballs began striking more frequently. Okay, kind of truck meatball.
You see, this is simplistic fun.
Absolutely.
And the art is from the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not trying to be correct in any way, really. It's just doing stuff, and it's funny, and it's all about the presentation and the manic aspect of the art, the way you like lumps everybody up and everything. Yeah. And recently I've been seeing attempts at humor strips, and a lot of it has very simplistic art, and sometimes they're even AI art, from what I can tell. Mm-hmm. And there's two things wrong. First, that the art has got no heart in it, even when it's not AI art. It's just so simple that it's got no heart. Nobody's done any study. They don't know what they're doing. There's no craft to it. And the other problem is that none of it's funny.
Yeah.
And then you look at something like this and you think, we've lost something. We've lost something, because this is just genuinely, it's like, even you don't even have to read it and you're taken in by it, by the bizarre style of it, the presentation of it, and then the whole meatball thing is just like something out of Monty Python, or the kids across the hall, or whatever it is.
Kids in the hall. Yeah,
Kids in the hall. It's all that kind of stuff, like bonkers sort of weird stuff, and it's funny.
Yeah. I squishy your head.
I squishy your head, yeah. It's just all that kind of, just stupid stuff, and it's the stuff that make you laugh. And it seems that every simple cartoon I see nowadays is either it seems to be focused on specifically sex rather than why sex is funny, or race, or politics, or some kind of commentary, rather than just straight up funny.
Right.
And I know that comedy should have, or has in the past had, lots of that, and it can be funny, but if you're not prepared to offend people, then comedy isn't comedy anymore. And I know this isn't out to offend, this is just being stupid, but it's the other side, it's the slapstick aspect of comedy. When people talk about slapstick, they often put it down as being sort of more basic comedy, but it isn't. It's very, very clever comedy. All you need to do is look at Laurel and Hardy and the amount of effort and timing that went into the stuff that they did, and why it still, after nearly 100 years or whatever it is, makes you laugh.
Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin.
Exactly.
All of those guys, yeah.
And this has that. It's in comic form. It has that. I mean, obviously, it's going to get more dingy, more underground, and probably more sexualized as well. But it's just silly. It's just stupid. It's just there to entertain, not to tell you what to think.
At the same time, this is part of the genius. This is why we keep saying that you can be political. You just have to be entertaining.
exactly.
when you do this kind of work, because if you look at the context of when this work was done, everybody with that, because this really looks a lot like Timothy Leary here, and if you folks don't know who he is, you might want to look him up. But they were doing a lot of experimentation with, shall we say, recreational drugs at this point, and searching for enlightenment. And
the meatballs doing the job.
This is exactly.
I mean, it's like we went through all that mad stuff, and I remember a lot of that. Reading a lot of that as a kid, and not necessarily understanding quite a bit of it because it was very American centric.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, it had an effect on me. It's just weird that so much of it was anti-government, which you'd expect. Okay,
subversive,
subversive, yeah. And I thoroughly enjoy that subversive aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But now, it would have a go at both sides. Do you know what I mean? If you want to put both sides on the page, it was a subversion. Was anti-establishment was not about taking the side of one of the two parties or one of the two aspects of the establishment. It was about being anti-establishment, all of it.
Yep.
And it's like, it seems nowadays so much of it is only anti-establishment on one side because you've got one thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make you anti-establishment. It makes you part of the establishment. Think for yourself, think out of the box. And that was what was great about Mad. It struck at everybody. It was not in any way biased.
The undergrounds were like that too, but they were more individual. You had artists out there literally realizing the potential of the art form here, that they could say whatever they want, and they literally tested boundaries here. Can I do a tune about this? Can I do a tune about that? Are people really going to be upset if I do this? And Crumb especially really went out and started stretching a lot of boundaries around just to see what they could or couldn't do. And again, figure out the power of sequential art in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that people get lost in manga, or people get lost in the idea of superheroes or whatever. But comic strip is everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can put anything into it. That's why it's so magical. That's why it's the best storytelling medium, in my view.
Can definitely be the most personal, most unique.
Yeah, it does everything.
So everybody gets hit by meatballs.
Meatball doesn't work that way.
That's right. Really is a classic strip to me, because this is kind of my introduction to the underground stuff from Les Daniels' book. It says, since Meatball Tuesday, it appears that the number of instances has started to taper off. For many of those who haven't yet encountered the meatball, the decline is a constant source of anxiety, and they wait and hope that some fine day they too, but alas, meatball doesn't work that way.
Meatball doesn't work that way. There's Sky High Comics as well. It's like Bill Ding.
They would take full pages, and yes, you're looking at some hardcore racial stereotypes here.
There is,
and they're done intentionally to be as offensive as possible.
Certainly is.
Not that these guys are racist; they're pointing out the fact that these stereotypes are over exaggerated.
Wrong. They're being used, and it's wrong. Yeah.
At the same time, you also have, here's a light bulb and whatever that is. Is that an eraser drop?
I don't know what the drop is.
Could be a drop of blood, bro.
They're all singing.
Yeah. They're all happy till this guy comes by and stomps them all out.
Oof. That's Bill Ding. That is.
Yep. Again, these were done in the mid to late 60s. So, different mentality back then. Itsy and Bitsy. Cause and effect. Can you see that clear enough to read it?
Yeah. That's that the guy on the right, Mr. Natural. That's what I remember mostly.
It's one of Crumb's icons. Yeah.
That's the one that sticks in my mind.
Yeah. That and the Keep on Trucking illustration that he never
Yes.
saw any money for. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody used it, and he never got. Could you imagine if he'd got paid for that?
Yeah. Even a little bit.
Even a little, yeah. Just a dime for every time.
Even a penny for every mud flap.
Yeah.
You saw it all over on semi mud flaps for years. Those three guys walking with Keep on Trucking.
Keep on trucking, yeah.
Across it, yeah. He's getting hit. Ooh, it sure is hot out. But I guess there's no way out of it. Yes, there is.
Sploosh.
Squirt. Awk. Death Valley, folks. Might be an excuse just not to draw backgrounds. That felt good. Oh, that felt good. Then Mr. Natural would always get into those deep philosophical discussions.
What's he thinking of? What's the jar?
What jar?
Over on the right hand side, he's thinking of something in a jar.
Oh man, I'm just gonna keep the old bifocals on so that I can see this better. Oh, I can't see. It's got pickle on it.
It's not peanut butter or something.
How many pieces this book can go into by the end of the show? Oh man. I don't know. It's a jar of something. Aspirin, I think. He's going after aspirin. It's making his head hurt. Mr. Natural never took any shit. So. Take it or leave it. It says what?
You know what? What? That's what.
There you are. You're nuts. You're nuts. Don't you wish? Yeah. Searching for the truth. Truth, man, I dig it. Snap, 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 snap. It's a little comic caper.
Oh wow! Okay, that's a bit deep, isn't it?
The drugs were clean, a lot cleaner back then. Believe me when I tell you. Those cute little birdsy worsies. Bearsy wearsies.
Bearsy wearsies. There's a lot of panels.
It is a lot of panels. That beats out that Simonson page we looked at years ago. 6, 11, 17, 22, 28, 33.
Is that a different story?
Yeah, it is. A little side.
How many panels on the page?
33. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Probably drawn 2 up.
I was about to say, I reckon he must have, because there's quite a lot of pen flicking going on in there. He must have drawn that quite high.
Splat. Some cool dialogue in there. Oh. Wakes up. Ding. Hey. Yep. It's junior high. And sidekick Judy Holiday here along the bottom. They both end up crying in the end. Come on in, folks. Glad you joined us. We're looking at some Robert Crumb. Nice numbers this morning. We appreciate you very much stopping by on this 4th of July. Wherever you are in the world. Ducks, yes, yes.
Quite a lot of work gone into these panels,
Isn't it?
Yeah,
love this stuff.
But when you look at this compared to the one we just looked at, the guy with the beard,
Mr. Natural.
Yeah, Mr. Natural. That was all, as sparse as he could make it.
It's part of intentional. Again, he was in Death Valley, right? This is part of the fun, though, of working in comics, especially when you're doing personalized stuff like this. You can make it as detailed, or you can challenge yourself as stylistically as you want, and just do what you want. That's really the main attraction.
Those bottom two panels on the right there have got sort of an Eisner feel to them.
Oh yeah. Well, all of these kids grew up reading the Spirit every Sunday.
Yeah.
Spirit at the when it was out there was like, what was it, 6? They figured 6 million copies a piece.
Wow.
Per story.
6 million.
Well, it was syndicated through the newspapers. The newspapers would put together a little comic book for every Sunday, and it was 16 pages. Eventually, I think it got whittled down to 12. But if you were syndicated, if the Spirit was syndicated by your newspaper, everybody that got your Sunday edition got your comic. So, and yet nowadays, to see a Spirit section at a show is incredibly rare. You can, even though there were millions upon millions and millions of this stuff out there, it's so rare to see a Spirit section anymore, especially at a show. Usually you have to pick them up off of eBay. Gilbert Rodriguez is in the house. So glad you're here. Crumb's humor was really something else. It's a combination of a lot of stuff. Crumb's detail in his art is really amazing. Yep. That's why we love looking at this stuff, Gilbert. From everywhere. We're not just superheroes. Comics aren't just superheroes. They're everything, literally. Anything that you want, you can draw on paper, you can turn into a comic. As you'll see here, there's some pretty esoteric stuff going on. Pretty crazy material, especially if you've never seen it before. Freak out funnies. Here we are. You see that all right? Lighting's okay? Looks like it.
Yeah. Freak out funnies.
Says I have about 11 short boxes of underground comics. Oh, there you go. Always had an appreciation for the counterculture creators. Yeah, that entire period here, you're seeing them go from the underground movement into the independent comics movement. Love this stuff. Absolutely. Cut my teeth on it. Everything from Zap Comix to just Cerebus, ElfQuest, and all that all had their start right with these. We covered a little bit of the underground movement on Les Daniels' book, Comics History of Comic Books in America. If you want to go back and look, I think we did that on Comics by Night, or was that Sunday? Probably Sunday Funnies. We looked at that.
It might have been. I think it might have been Sunday Funnies. Yeah, they're all there. Yeah,
but it's all there. Yeah,
it's all there.
Hurry. Just bouncing along. Oh, thud. That sewer snoids. Yow. Those fuckers. Something paranoid. I'm just going to keep the bifocals in so I can read this better. Yep. Yows. Those fuckers make me paranoid. Ha! Funny snoids. They're all laughing at it. We'll cover this up for a second. Ready?
Yeah, go.
This'll show you a little inspiration.
Wow.
Does that remind you of anything?
Mega City 1.
It sure does. One of the earliest Judge Dredd episodes has got him riding his lawgiver on a road
that's
like
right.
this. Very similar in layout.
Carlos Esquerra. Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
He might have pulled that from here. I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, every time I see that picture now, I think of the Dredd.
Yeah.
A little bit of flying saucer work. And again, folks, you're looking at some racial stereotypes here. Drawn more to show off the absurdity of it all.
The robots.
There's a big, new, wonderful tomorrow full of monumental achievements. Unheard of vistas of progress await. Better worlds are being built. Everyone will have all of everything. Let's look at some of these things we're going to get in the years to come. City of the future. A little bit of free love working.
Free love.
A little bit of harshness too there going on. Be a whore, be Jesus Christ. Create your own masterpieces. Blow up the world. Tank Ferret says our Crumb ran around holding up a funhouse mirror to society. Yes, he did. Just classic work.
Everything looks like it's made of balloons. It's great.
It does. It's got a shape to it, a thickness, dimension to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it all looks 3D. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, you should see if you haven't, you should see the work he's doing now. He'll post an illustration every once in a while, and his using this line stipple effect, he's gotten to the point of doing realistic illustrations. Just amazing. The androids will be put to other good uses. Sadists can torture them, cut them up, tear them to pieces. Oh, that's, we're going to have artificial brothels here eventually. It's just a matter of time. That's what he's pointing out here back in the 60s. Pretty prophetic. In fact, you'll have the whole spectrum of experience at your fingertips. Fantasy machines will manufacture any world you ask for in a matter of seconds. You too can live in the Matrix. Yeah. Be a locomotive engineer, be a secret agent, be a whore, be Jesus Christ, create your own masterpieces, blow up the world.
Bonk. Those jets. Look at that.
Crazy stuff. It reminds me a little of Gilbert Sheldon's Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. That panel there. Of course, we'll have to look at them eventually. It's a trio of hipsters living in their apartment in New York trying to get by. slinging dope and just living. Just sit around all day. There we are. Yep. There'll always be the search for the bigger kick. Guys will play chicken with suicidal souped up body rockets, while others will just sit around all day playing mind games. Oh. It's just he didn't quite see the smartphone, but he's just about got it right there. Once a year, all the old stuff will be gathered up and put into huge machines, which will grind it up and make it into new stuff. The bed, as we know it, will be replaced by a soft, warm, moist foam plastic. Oh, memory foam. Blob that will just dive into and fall. You just dive into and fall asleep while it undulates slowly in and out, and soothing, sweet music plays. He is sleeping in a beanbag. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yes, everything will be beautiful, but we'll still have to regulate population growth. So when you're 65, they'll come looking for you with a pie, not just an ordinary pie, a cyanide pie. What a way to go. Oh, that was it. What a way to go indeed. Are up to old Uncle in his garbage truck. Uncle This help build a better America.
America.
Now you don't need a shrink to flush out karmic congestion. Just get stoned. A modern miracle. With a here's how. What's using there? It's like some sort of ink smear. It's dotted though. Looks dotted.
Does it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the
Don't know what he did there for that
reproduction as far as the print is concerned.
Yeah, well, everything would be screen dotted. Dots.
But it looks. From this distance, it looks more like a brush.
A gray wash.
Gray wash.
Yeah. Might be my eyes too.
Ah, my eyes.
No, yeah, you're right. It looks like an ink wash. Definitely a case of derangement.
Derangement.
Definitely a case of derangement. My wife cringes in a corner while I stalk the house, a raging lunatic. Want my money back. Gripes. Phooey. Nuts. Cancel my Roomba lessons. Rumba. Cancel my Rumba lessons.
Rumba.
Yeah.
Rumba.
Not Roomba. Long before Roombas. Fed up on life. The truth is, I'm one of the world's last great medieval thinkers. As you want to say I'm a mad scientist, for my plans have all been worked out quite methodically, logically, but the ends justify the means. This comic book is first of that plan, but you've read too much already. I have you right where I want you. So coochie coo, you bastards. Followed up by nothing but nothing.
Nothing but nothing.
Oh, Wienermobile. Cool. They just had a big race of those. Got them all together in one place and raced them around a racetrack.
Wienermobile.
Yeah, the Wienermobiles. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
No, I don't know anything about that. Unfortunately, I'm not completely 100% up to my Americana.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought that was a worldwide thing.
No, it's not. Anything with the word wiener in is definitely American centric.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's like saying that baseball is a World Series.
Oh, yeah.
That's rubbish.
Yep.
The wiener is definitely I mean, I would imagine wiener is a German word anyway.
Yeah.
But hell, we all know you got a lot of Germans in America.
A whole lot. Yep. Let me view this image. Somebody just came in, so give me just a second. Whoever's in the green room. Glenn is getting set up, hopefully, coming in.
Hey.
Let me know when you're good to go. But in the meantime, here is a right there. Boom. That is a Wienermobile.
It certainly is. That looks like it's straight out of 1967.
It is.
And I would say has never ever graced the shores of the UK.
Are you sure?
I'm guessing. I don't. I've never seen one of these things.
It looks like something off the Magical Mystery Tour, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or Yellow Submarine.
Hiya, Glenn.
Hiya, all right.
Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
I'm all right.
How's your wiener?
The wiener's fine, but the wires aren't working. Well, they are now. But somebody will have found some clippers, I guess, and anyway.
Clipped your wiener.
Yeah.
Clip the
cable. The wiener.
No.
Anyway.
Like I said, they had a race of a half a dozen of them around a racetrack here a couple weeks ago. So there's a good half a dozen of them at least still up and running. There's one of them on display all the time at a car museum, Greenfield Village, Henry Ford Museum down in Detroit. So they have a Tucker there, and they have Kennedy's assassination car and a number of other vehicles on display.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Well,
they got a big. I sent you a picture of it, Glenn, one time. And,
you did?
Yeah.
I somehow don't think that Lincoln convertible was the only model they made, the only one they made.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, it's a very nice car.
We're looking at a ratty edition of Love to 10, which is a collection of Robert Crumb's contributions to Zap Comix.
Kichiku, you
during this run. Exactly right. Kichiku, you bastard.
Kichiku.
Did Robert Crumb, is he responsible for Felix the cat?
No, he's Fritz the cat.
Fritz the cat.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was.
Which was a lot more adult version of Felix.
Right.
It goes around, doing all the things that you did back in the 60s.
I saw the film when I was at college.
There you go.
Yep. Very amusing. Still sitting in the cinema talking to my friends saying, "How did they get away with this?" But it's funny.
Anyway, here's the Wienermobile traveling along.
Didn't Crumb just die recently?
No, his wife passed a few months ago, but he's still alive.
I'll just shut up, getting it all wrong like I normally do. I'll just be quiet.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
You don't normally get it wrong, Glenn. Just sometimes.
I usually do. I get the wrong. It's like a mixture. what I'm talking about is right, but I've got the wrong person at the wrong time. It's called talking shit.
Oh, we're all good at that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm afraid we are. Time for White Man.
What?
When is this from?
These are the Zap Comics from the late 60s.
Right.
They were a group of the artists got together for the Zap line and each contributed a few pages per issue. Crumb was part of that. Spain, Rodriguez was part of that. I want to say S. Clay Wilson, Gilbert Shelton, who went on to do Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
All right. Oh.
That it never occurred to me before, but that sort of suited, glasses wearing, trilby wearing, sort of slightly overweight, middle-aged man in America is the equivalent. It's the equivalent of the guy in Monty Python's Flying Circus with the handkerchief on his head and his trousers rolled up at the beach.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent Americana version of our of our man. Yeah, very weird.
He's just typical white man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. They would call that gammon now in this country.
My
Gammon's on its way out.
My real
gammon.
self, deep down inside, the raging lustful beast that craves but one thing: sex.
Sex.
Drool.
Drool.
Gotta get a grip on myself. I'm a grown man. I'm an intelligent adult with responsibilities. I'm an American.
I'm an American. Don't want to get a grip on yourself in public. You can get in trouble for that.
Let's ask Paul Rubens. Yeah. Pee Wee Herman. He got in trouble for that.
Yes.
Getting a grip on himself in an adult theater.
Oh, dear.
Citizen of the United States. Yeah. A real hard charger. Step aside, buddy. Grr, grr.
Grr, grr.
The man with the know-how, a citizen on the go. I must maintain this rigid position or all is lost. Phew. This is hard work. Believe me, I get headaches. My bowels refuse to function. Guts are on fire. Indigestion, heartburn. Hey, there's a nice little piece of talent. If only I had the time, I'd... Gee, a real He-Man. What the hell's the use? No wonder I'm a nervous wreck. Guess I'll return to my vehicle. I tried. Said, give it something. Says I tried. He gets in the car and then he feels that road rage. There we are.
It's like a scene from Falling Down, that bit, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, very much so. Typical, white man fears.
Yeah. Speaking of Falling Down, they ruined that film by making him a nutter, didn't they?
Yep.
Because that's how everybody feels at the beginning when he's under that bridge and then that traffic jam.
Everybody's on his side, and then he turns into a delinquent.
Yeah.
Although, they kind of, even then at the end, it was only because they sort of intimated that he might have been violent towards his wife or at the very least abusive. Yeah.
Instead of just frustrated.
instead of just a frustrated guy who'd had enough and broke. Yeah. Well, you can't do that because it's almost like giving permission, isn't it?
Yeah. A little bit of blackface in use here. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. How could they do this to me? I'm white, man. Yeah, well, listen, bud. Ain't gonna say that next panel.
No.
Be cool, Dad. Will white man join the parade? Maybe some other time I foolish white man. Seems rather silly. Oh, eventually. This is no virtue signaling today. I'm a ding dong daddy.
Ding dong.
Look at that first panel. That's a real Crumb drawing, isn't it? It's fantastic the movement and the way he's walking. You know,
Look at them feet.
Yeah,
I love them feet.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
He looks like in that second, and then the next panel, the third panel, he looked with that nose. He looks like those guys that can never remember the names of in Popeye.
Oh, the Jeeps.
Oh, the
Little Jeep.
Yeah.
They go around
Things.
smelling everything, don't they? What they call?
Yeah. Are they
Jeeps.
a tribe? Don't they show them as like a tribe or something?
Yeah.
And there's one woman, is it the Moog or whatever? I don't know. She really likes Popeye and he doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
It's what they call Randy.
I thought you were talking about the little like alien creature that he picks up. That's a
no. He goes. It's like Russ said. There's sort of a tribe. He goes to an island or something, and they're all
they're all in grass skirts, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got grass over their bits and under their arms, and he puts some more. He gets some grass as well and puts it there, doesn't he? Because they go around smelling each other, don't they?
Yes.
They're just really, but
very
like
odd.
They've got long noses. I think he pulls his nose down to look like that as well, because they're all coming up to him.
Is he?
It's weird.
Let's see here.
Look at him banging his head on the wall.
Oh, I'm not seeing one there. There's a Popeye cast here. You see a little bit of Seeger in Crumb's work here. He obviously was influenced by it. Let me share this screen here. There's a Popeye cast. I don't see that. Must have been a single story with them in it.
Yeah.
They ended up using characters a lot, but there's the Oil family. Professor OG, what's a snozzle? What a snozzle? There. It's kind of got that nose. The sea hag.
Who's the artist on Popeye?
This is Seeger here. There's the one I thought you were talking about, the Jeep here. Eugene the Jeep.
No, they're really tall.
He's got that nose too. Yeah, and I know now who you're talking about. Like Alice the Goon here.
Yeah,
the Goon. Yes, yeah.
They're like cavemen, aren't they? Type of thing with fuzz under their arms and
perhaps they're called the Goons.
Goons. Back here in the back next to ham gravy.
That coal oil, nano oil, and castor oil.
Yeah. Coal oil.
Sweepy.
Thimble Theater, where the strip started as The Adventures of the Oil Family. And then, with Olive took off when Popeye came in. Castor in the front here, he was the main star for quite a while.
Yeah. Is John Sappo, is he the guy that says I would happily pay you next Tuesday for a burger today?
No, that's J. Wellington Wimpy here. This guy.
And
Oh, where's he?
Yeah.
Oh, Wimpy's there. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him for looking.
if anybody was perfect casting, it was Shelley Duvall for Olive Oil, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, that whole movie is genius.
So-
It's just few people enjoy it. You
I
know.
presumed that the Wimpy was named after after him.
Yeah.
The Wimpy Burger joint.
hmm
Oh.
Though they don't admit it. Same thing with Popeye's chicken.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't admit it. Yeah.
No,
It
for
leaves you open to
licensing
paying
purposes.
money.
Yeah. They said they got the name off of Popeye Doyle in the French Connection, but Popeye Doyle got his name from Popeye anyway.
Popeye, yeah.
Yeah. King Blozo, Sea Hag, great stuff. You can see a bit of Robert Crumb here in this style.
Speaking of Popeye Doyle, if you want to see Hackman in his greatest role, it's Mississippi Burning.
There we go.
That's a film you should watch.
Anything with Hackman in it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Even the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah, yeah, he's good. He's just good, isn't he? He's like
He
he
is.
reminds me. Nothing doesn't look like him or anything like that, but he reminds me of Robert Duvall. Never. I, in my opinion, never the biggest star ever.
Mm-hmm.
Although Hackman was up there, but he was never. I don't think he was ever the number one, was he?
Used to always get Duvall and De Niro mixed up.
Right.
And to me, they did a lot of the same parts, kind of the same type of actor.
I think
But
Robert
yeah,
Duvall's better than De Niro.
Great
And De
stuff.
Niro's good. Used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Turned lunatic.
Oh, it's crazy, aren't they?
That's what happens when you open your mouth too much. So
Yeah.
everybody's got crazy ideas. It's just
Yeah,
thanks to the
they'll go
internet now.
mad.
Everybody gets to know everybody else's crazy ideas. Yeah. Here's a little bit of modernistic comics.
Yeah.
Oh, how many panels on there? 20.
21.
32.
Oh, you mean
I was
here?
talking about the left. Yeah,
Oh,
32 panels on there.
5, 10, 15,
Yeah, 20 there.
26.
No, 25. No, it's 25, isn't it?
25.
25 plus
plus
12.
12.
It's 37. God, 37 panels on a page.
He's jamming, literally.
That thing on the right, that's definitely drug induced.
No. I keep saying the drugs were a lot cleaner back then.
Yeah.
Tank Ferret says he's got to get to work. Like, share, and stay magnificent. Thank you, Tank Ferret. Hope
Thank
have a
you,
great
Tank.
day. Have a great weekend, Tank.
See you, Tank.
Want to thank everybody for watching us this morning. Deeply appreciate you being here. We are looking at the book Love to 10, which is a collection of Robert Crumb's work from Zap Comix. The great Robert Crumb. You haven't seen this material before. It's not all just vileness and insanity. They're out there to test the limits and to explore and experiment. Great time for sequential art.
I think it's just weird.
It's meant to be weird. Look at that. You can't see that. Looks normal. Is that a building with tits?
Yeah. Yeah. A sexy building.
It's large breast. Poink. Yeah.
Boink. That's a tunnel of nipples.
Is that what that is? Oh, I
It's a tunnel
guess
of
so.
nipples.
Anyway, that's art. That's what that is.
Yeah, I think it's I think even YouTube or AI would find it difficult to see that as boobs.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I didn't either until you mentioned it.
There you go.
Right there in the center panel.
Maybe that says more about me.
I'm going to say, yeah. You're more observant.
Or just looking for boobs.
Yeah.
There's a couple pages of happy kitchen cutouts. Hours of fun. Loads of laughs. Swap them. Trade them. Amaze your friends with these cute little characters. Have a beautiful decoration at the same time.
Sid the Spoon.
Just a little before the cocaine age. Dictator. Is that Beatrice bread slice? Sneezy Pete Pepper Shaker. Bad guy Billy Beer Can.
Did Crumb ever make any money out of this stuff that he produced?
I think he made a little, but not a lot. Not as much as he should have. The whole underground movement was really hand to mouth. Anyway,
Yeah, and they weren't really doing it for that, were they?
No, a lot of it was just to get it out there.
I just like all the hand lettering as normal. I just think it's great. He does the whole thing, the whole
Yes,
page.
Just the whole thing is very personable. All done by hand. Even the panel borders here, they might have been ruled out initially in pencil. They'll still go over them, and you still get that freehand feel to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about the comics from this era.
Well, he'd be getting paid for the full thing, wouldn't he?
They were,
and then over at Marvel and DC, you'd have the production line effectively, wouldn't you? Of a writer, artist, inker, letterer.
Yeah, they were doing it and printing it, and being paid from the profits from the book.
Yeah,
that was their whole, start of the independent alternative comic movement. Really, so after a while, a lot of these artists that started out doing anthologies like this started doing their own books and doing their own thing. Some of them were serious, and some of them were crazy funny, like Dope and Dan and Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. And you get stuff like George Metzger's Moondog, which I would consider to be more of an alternative comic than an underground, about a guy traveling the country after the bombs dropped, and like a hippie van going into different situations.
Okay.
It's really the start of like First Kingdoms, sprung off of this era, which started the whole alternative comic independent comic movement. Really,
that one you mentioned sounded like a barrel of laughs.
Which one?
The one after the nuclear attack going around.
Oh, Moondog. Yeah. Metzger has got he's really got an individual style to his work. It's really, really cool stuff. I run the logo on Sunday Funnies every once in a while, or not logo, but one of the covers on the opening for Sunday Funnies. I love that book. When I ran across it as a kid, I just ate it up. And sometimes there was an environmental message, but it only ran for like 3 issues, and I think 2 of those had a real hard science fiction story to it. Runs across a mad scientist who's holed himself up and done crazy experiments and things, like the Isle of Dr. Moreau type situation. Let's begin. You city people are all the same. Flaky Foont. This guy with Mr. Natural. Get in the fridge. Help yourself, why don't you? He's the nerviest guy in the world. Made himself a Dagwood sandwich.
It's like Wimpy.
Yeah. But Dagwood used to make these super tall sandwiches from Blondie, the comic strip Blondie and Dagwood. He'd sit there and eat them. Skinny guy. Make these huge sandwiches and devour them.
All in one go.
Yeah.
Like the beard.
Pretty much.
The social comments, aren't they? A lot of this guy's work.
Yeah, he was wide open to say whatever he wanted to say, and considering at the time the Comic Code Authority was so stringent,
yeah,
they were just naturally rebellious. So it was whatever they could think of that wouldn't fit into the code, they would end up putting in these comics. Too much. This little stipple effect here, all ink lines in the background. We were saying before you got here that Crumb has a way of making things look solid or almost like a balloon round just by using the stipple shading here.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to it, isn't there? It's very good. I'd like to see some of his sort of more normal artwork if he ever does any.
Oh yeah, you should see what he's doing. The stuff that they post on Facebook is just amazing.
What's that?
Crazy good. I mean, go ahead.
What Facebook page?
Robert Crumb's got a Facebook page. I don't know if it's him or if it's his. I think it's his people that are running it, or somebody a big fan of his work. You know, just like all the Kirby pages that are out there.
Yep.
Let me see if I can pull up a recent work of his. You will be amazed. Let me find something recent here. There's a good one. I don't know how recent that is. Let's blow up that image. I'm not seeing a date on it. Let me share screen.
Oh wow, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
This is the quality of work. This is a lot more recent work.
Right.
I haven't seen a lot of comic work or sequential artwork from him, but he does a lot of these stipple portraits that are just amazing. And it's all, if you look at it, it's all really fine line work.
Yeah.
Candid photo taken at the same time and place as that on the previous page. Okay. But yeah, the production of a work of art throws a light upon the mystery of humanity. R.W. Emerson on Nature and Reality.
Yeah, it's a very European style it has, doesn't it? It's like Serpieri and people like that with all that cross hatching and everything.
Yeah.
A different style, but the same area. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously good. How old is he now? Is he 80?
He's got to be in his 80s, yeah. I'm not exactly sure how old he is. Let's see that one. It's a little crazy. I'm not seeing a lot of his more recent stuff here. This was 95. Let me show you this one. Here's a portrait. that he did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he knows about shading.
Fall of 95, school photo, age 14. So I love his modern work.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Oh.
Love all that stuff. All of his work. It's just well worth looking through.
Does he ever do color?
He's had some stuff in color, but I couldn't, say outright that there's been a lot of it. Most everything that I've seen of his is black and white.
That there was a guy at college had that on a T-shirt that Keep on Trucking, but it was just a single image on it.
Oh yeah.
That was back in '74 or something like that.
They took that image and ran with it all through the underground, just like all of the peeing Calvins that you'd see on the back of trucks. You saw Keep on Trucking mud flaps all over the place. He never got a dime for it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Keep on trucking on down the line. Hey, hey, hey. I said, keep on trucking my blues away.
Look at the guy at the bottom left. There he's leaning back with the crazy hat on. The one with the striped shirt. That one, yeah. Look how he's leaning back. It's great, isn't it?
It is. This guy here. It's crazy.
It's fantastic. Look at that.
It's all great. And you see a little Seeger, maybe a little Basil Wolverton running through this. Just all sorts of little influences here and there. Charles Santino in the house as Sophie's his daughter. Yeah.
Yo, Charles.
Hey, Charles. Hope you're doing well. Just us kids.
That lettering at the top there looks like Wally Wood on that stuff we were looking at.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's really good lettering.
Yeah.
The top bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, beat it.
Some bitch. Oh, here's a couple more tight ones. Har Page. Guy picking his nose.
Ha ha. What was there on that one? 35 panels on that one?
Count them. 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Yeah, 35 panels.
You've got one page, Robert. Tell this story.
Pretty much.
Why on earth is that woman naked?
It's a har page. Because she can. Ahem.
His head.
Human
the human.
Human the human.
Better known as Baldy. Believe me, he took a long lunch.
His head shrinking in shame.
Oh God, there's yeah. I would move on quite quickly.
I'm just looking to see what was so offensive.
Yeah, well, you
At the
don't
bottom.
want to read the bottom right. So
down here in the corner.
yeah, that's quite offensive.
Oh yeah, there we are. Yeah.
It just shows how things have changed. Yeah.
Yeah. wanting something for lunch.
Yeah.
Sure enough, everybody loves
Don't say it. Don't say it out loud.
Fiddleton Sam's. Yeah.
Instaban.
Instaban. Must look at the amazing results.
Did he ever apologize for the depictions and the words? Because there are some people. So was it the guy that did Captain Marvel?
CC Beck?
Yeah, was concerned about the depiction of black people in Captain Marvel. Wasn't there a sidekick? Or have I got the wrong character?
No, you do. You're right. He had a character, I want to say Whiplash or something like that.
Right.
That was a stereotype black character. Yeah.
Because I mean, even in this, I mean, even if this is satire, I could understand. I mean, I'm not for cancelling history. You've got to see it in the round. You've got to see everything. But I could understand why he might have said, maybe I went a little bit too far there. You know, even though I was trying to shout out racism, inequality, incorrect and terrible ways of showing demographics. Maybe I went a little bit too far. I just wondered if he'd ever said anything.
Not that I'm aware of,
no.
But I think there's a big difference between the black sidekick in Captain Marvel, which was very stereotype for a black person of that day, a very typical stereotype. You know, the watermelon, fried chicken, large lips. And these books here, he's doing all of this stuff to intentionally satirize the stereotype and the type, even throwing that N-word around really hard. I think he's doing it for the same reason. It is.
This is 10, 15 years later.
Yeah, it's about 10, 15 years.
So it's satirizing the stereotype, the visual stereotype, as it were. Yeah. No, and I think that's valid in what he's trying to do there. I'm not making a comment from my own personal opinion. I was just wondering if he ever decided that he was going to apologise or say something or in some way distance himself from his older work. Because you see a lot of people do that. So.
Yep. I'm not, like I said, I haven't run across any statement where he says he regrets any of this material.
I couldn't imagine him doing it, to be honest. I was just wondering if he did. I could imagine him saying, look, I did it for this reason and I stand by it, so.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to misunderstand it. And there's, I've run across a couple of historians and I would say a kid, but he's not a kid, who went to the Savannah graphics school of graphics or whatever, a pretty prestigious art college in Georgia down there. And he took a sequential art course and he was telling me about all the history that he, quote, learned, unquote. And the instructor down there literally had his head up his ass, especially when it came to this material.
Right.
And he considered Crumb just to be a nut job.
Right.
And not worth anyone's time.
Well.
Yeah. Oh, that guy's nuts. He's all this and this. And the documentary was all 100% and all that. No, that's not the way that works.
That shows people who are actually quite ignorant who claim to be the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot of it about.
Oh, and now with the anti-social medias, it just gets worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know whether people absolutely really feel the way that they're saying and are genuine, or if they're just saying it because they think it's going to make them popular. So
they're just want an effect, don't they? It's like a forced hypocrisy, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as you don't maybe carry on with that kind of stuff, and I don't think you should be made to apologize for it.
Oh no.
If you want to apologize, that's
exactly
up to you.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be shamed. And because, like you said, it's history. It happened.
It's history. Exactly. Yeah. And especially if it's one of those things, if it's something that offends or upsets people, but it was done like we've spoken about this before, which is difficult for our American counterparts, I think. But like Alf Garnett,
Yeah.
or those kind of things that a lot of people are saying now, oh, you can't possibly show that, you can't possibly have it on. It's like you're completely missing the point. Even as a child of a very young child, whenever I saw that, I automatically realised what an idiot he was.
Yes.
And how the black guy was effectively on the side of right.
Yeah.
He was doing the right thing, and the other guy was an idiot for being biased against him, for being,
Yeah.
And I could see that as a small child. It was so obvious. So why can't other people see that now? I don't get it.
Because they don't want to.
Because they want to, exactly. Exactly. They don't want to.
What you've got to remember is that when that Till Death Us Do Part, excuse me, this show was on, it was on prime time for a reason. And it was because the 10 million people then were tuning in and laughing on it.
Yeah. Laughing at him.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that's it. It's exactly as you were saying about this guy, this teacher missing the point. So I see these television programs on the telly. Oh, the 70s were so bad. They were this, they were that. And it's like, they were. Yeah. But do you know what? A lot of the programming and a lot of the attitudes that went on in the 70s developed our society.
Yeah.
It meant that when you got to the 90s, because that was the last time it was in a really good state, the end of the 90s, people, so many people did not care about colour. They did not care about sexuality. People just got on. They just did stuff. I remember being there. I was there. I'm telling you. Okay, it wasn't perfect, but it was so much better than what had gone before it, and the ignorance that had gone before it. And it was definitely programming like beat your neighbor. Was it the neighbor one?
Love
thy neighbor. I mean, that was very racist. Okay, well, on the skin of it, as is so to speak. But the black guy he always got the better of the white guy, who was an idiot. It was obvious he was a racist idiot, even to a child like me, and those things changed. I think those things changed the way people perceived other races and demographics for the better.
You were saying, Glenn?
Sorry, Glenn.
There was a program in the mid-70s called Mind Your Language, and it was about a teacher teaching foreigners. Can I say foreigners? I just did.
Yes, of course you can. Say it.
Well, you know what I mean.
Foreigners.
I don't really care whether I can or not. I was just teaching foreigners in the English language, and it's the funniest thing you've ever seen. And there's a lot of what people would perceive as racism in there. I think racism is like Hitler wanting to knock people out. I don't think. Anyway, that's a different story. But this program was one of the funniest programs, and my argument against these idiots who come along now and say, "Oh, you can't say that, you can't do that." Everybody in that program there was nobody. If there was an Indian guy in it or a black guy in it, an African guy, they were that person. So they were okay being in it. So what's it got to do with somebody now? They didn't have to be in that program. They could have turned that job down, but they didn't.
But I think the point was that there were definitely caricatures. There were racial caricatures, but also the English guy was a racial caricature.
Exactly.
The white guy. And of course, you got to remember as well that, whether you like it or I don't care what people think, Spaniards, Italians, French, German, English, we're all from Europe, we're all effectively white, all right? So there was a whole bunch of those people in there as well. And it was a caricature as far as racial or cultural aspects were, but they were all having a go at each other, and they all got lines, and they all got to take the pee out of each other, and it was equal. It was actually quite equal across the board, and you'd laugh at it. I mean, as a child, I didn't necessarily see the racial stereotypes. I just saw people being funny.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that was it.
One of the funniest things was "Hello, hello," wasn't it?
Yeah, hello was brilliant. Do you know what I saw yesterday? I saw, just as I went passing through the lounge, I saw Secret Army on the TV.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. Which is what it was. aimed
Yeah.
at, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
it's based on,
aimed
yeah.
at that. Yeah, but I mean, how on earth can you sell a comedy where everybody speaks English and the only way you'll know that they're German or French is because they speak with an accent,
Yeah.
and you
Well,
sell that to Germany?
it
How
sells.
do you do that?
Well, stereotypically the Germans have no sense of humor.
Yeah.
I read a while back about that when that Hello Hello came out on DVD or
Right.
VHS or whatever it was. The biggest sales were in Germany.
In German, they loved it.
And and stereotypically the Germans don't have a sense of humor. Well, of course
They
they
do.
do.
Of
It's
course
just
they
different,
do.
isn't it? Well, the funniest thing on that program I said before is the British girl, the secret agent, who's dressed up like a gorgeous French woman with the coat on. When the pilots are hiding in that cartoon cow, that pantomime cow, and she says to the French guy, "I will see you at the bridge at 5 o'clock." And then the guy's head pops out the udder, the pilot, and she says, "I say, chaps, make your way to the bridge at 5 o'clock." You know what I mean?
It's just how do you? But the fact is that that's genius, and to be able to sell that in multiple languages when the core of the comedy is that everybody is speaking English and sounds different. It's
just before we move on with this, there's a great bit. There's a guy, I don't know his name, but he plays an Italian sort of general or a captain.
Yes, I know the one.
And he's at the table in the restaurant, and somebody drops a plate and it crashes, so he ducks under the table because of that stereotypical in Italian.
What a mistake of a maker.
Well, it's like here in the States, we had a local auction house that twice a year would put on a huge auction of black stereotype Negro memorabilia.
Right.
Of all of these exaggerated, Sambo items. And their biggest bidders were African Americans.
Yeah.
Because they understand it's not just that they have that there's a sense of humor there, but that it's part of their history.
It's part of American history.
American history. Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's important to get the whole of American history from every aspect. Yeah.
And not to hide it, because that's the only way you're going to learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. You got exactly. The only way to learn is to analyze the past.
And speaking of that, here we have the next page.
Here we go. Oh, right. Okay.
Angel Food McSpade.
God. Good God.
Oh, God. What can you say?
He's enjoying that.
Good face there.
I got to the biggest in town.
God.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad I put the 18 certificate on this.
Psychedelic.
Look at that. She's the kind of chick a guy would be proud to walk down the street with.
There you go.
What's he doing there?
There you go.
Yeah, you know what he's doing.
Oh, we probably should move on at this point. Yes. We've had our discussion about stereotypes.
I think we should. Yeah, let's move on some more.
There we are. Probably move on again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to move on again.
Nice silhouette there, by the way.
Yeah. Is that Felix the cat down the bottom just like turned up? Just as a joke.
Right there, yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Yep, just popping in.
Just pop Felix the cat in there.
Yep. More
Mr. Natural's back.
Look at that moon with that face.
Isn't that great? I love that lettering too.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Reading by candlelight here.
This wrangles my ass. Bam.
Drop out Mr. Natural.
So he can fly, can he?
Elevate. Levitate. Sorry, levitate.
Yeah, levitate. Flaky Flint, he was in before, wasn't he, Flaky Flint?
Yeah. He's kind of the straight man to Mr. Natural. Flaky Flint. If they're out in disguise. Oh,
And he's got to hate Ashbury.
Bent perspective here.
Yeah. That guy with the beard on the other side looks like that Ginsberg guy, doesn't he? That Lennon used to knock about with.
Yeah.
You've gone really quiet, Randy. That's it. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yep. You must have just moved.
My head was away from the camera or from the
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do they all look the same? What's that about? Whoa, okay.
Like he's got a sausage on his head.
Which one is the real Mr. Natural? Well, he ain't even there. He's out someplace else.
Now he's Mr. Snatcheral. You never saw such a horny old geezer.
Zap Comix tells it like it is. Go native. Go all the way. Always play fair. Be animalistic and always play fair. No ifs, ands, or buts. Says Mr. Snoid. And remember, doing for others is doing for yourself. So get with it, kids. Harry.
Oh, they look like those guys on Popeye.
Yeah. That's set up like an old EC comic.
Yeah.
Layout there. Yeah.
Dope. Definitely.
Like those guys, so.
I like the way it does the shoes curved. It's like the sort of roll. They're rolling out this rather than walking.
Yeah.
You know. Fantastic.
Not quite flat.
Yeah.
To the ground here. It gives it more dimension, more shape to it. What the heck is that? Oh, that's
yeah. I like it. What's he do?
Looking at something. Yeah. And again, that the background, the buildings there look Eisner to me.
I'm going to say Eisner buildings, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Great line work there.
Oh dear.
Guess they're inspecting. Whammo. That's kind of fun.
Vinny's in the house.
Yeah. Oh. If I press too hard on them pages, it comes off of the spine. The glue does.
Those guys.
Look at that. Hi, I'm God. Let's get going.
Let's get going.
I'm Ed Winchester. Treated like a dirty dog. Look at that. He says, I sure have been leading a dog's life since I got into this town. Makes me horny as hell. Oh my God, look at this.
Okay. Now that's a surprise, using that word in America so long ago.
Yeah.
That is a slang title they've used for decades for women over here.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Up until 10 years ago, I'd never heard an American say it.
Oh, ever. No, this is 60s here. Well, it's not something that you use in open conversation.
I've never heard it come out of it until, just a few years back. I'd never heard of it come out of an American mouth.
Oh, it's a hard slang term for female genitalia.
Yeah,
here.
that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is over here. Yeah,
Yeah, we have the same thing.
Yeah.
I think the first time I heard it out of an American mouth was in The Sopranos.
Really? Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
About 2008, 2007.
Well, that's
Right. Yeah.
that's one of those 7 words that you for a long time you couldn't say on television, any television.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had the same here.
You've heard
But-
George Carlin's routine about the 7 words you can't say on TV.
No, not heard that.
I haven't seen
Oh.
that.
But as far as I was concerned, that was a British word.
Yeah.
I think I can. I'm
Hearing Americans say that word is just weird.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, especially on like shock jock radio back in the 90s, they would just tell you to see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
They would say that instead of using the actual word.
What's his face says that a lot, doesn't he? See you next Tuesday. What's he called? The guy with the curly hair. Looks like Brian May, but he's a American radio shock jock.
Oh, Howard Stern?
Yes. He's now I know what he meant. I didn't know what he meant when he said it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
He says that a lot. Hello there, where are you going? Just ignores him. Doggone it.
Dog's eyes.
Going into an adult
The way he's walking down the street at the end, that last picture is just great.
Yeah.
It's just so much energy in there.
Yeah, look at that curve too on the
Yeah.
street. Great. Poor old dirty dog, but he's happy.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
Have you seen what's going on up there?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
God.
There up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's art.
Yeah.
Look at that line work.
Eat her shoe.
Shoe. What's that?
Pop. He's pop.
Right.
Look at that pop. He's
Oh,
looking guilty.
God.
Like the eyes. Panel. It's just they're at an adult bookstore buying a dirty magazine. Yeah. Street corner days.
Hey, baby, I got something for you. It's getting worse, isn't it? Well,
It is.
or better, whichever way you look at it.
Well, the farther along they go, yeah, the more boundaries they start really pushing on. So
Yeah. This is all drugs.
you get into the more rougher underground, like Snatch Comics and that kind of thing, and it gets really rough.
Can you get Fritz the Cat, or is it banned? I mean,
It's not banned here. It's hard to find. I'm not sure where it sits rights wise, but we used to find it all the time on CD and VHS tape all over. There's some of the odd streaming services like Tubi or Pluto might actually still offer it for streaming.
I've only ever seen it once. It was at the cinema in about 1973 when I was at college. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we couldn't believe what we were seeing, but it was funny. But I've never seen it since.
I saw it a few years after that. We used to have midnight shows in theaters out here of really oddball cinema, just crazy stuff. And I worked third shift at the time at a toy store in a mall. So and my parents were super religious strict. So I would say, hey, I'm on a different schedule than you, and there's a movie going on at midnight at the theater. I'm going to go there and get out of your hair. So they were happy to, have me go to this theater. So I saw Rocky Horror like 35, 40 times, and Groove Tube and Monty Python's Holy Grail.
And they thought you were going to see
a movie.
Bambi.
Yeah, Bambi. Yeah.
Just going to see a movie. Jabberwocky, I saw at the theater on a midnight show. Groove Tube, which was funny, really funny. Kentucky Fried Movie, which we run the clip there from A Fistful of Yen at the start of the show. I saw that at the theater on a midnight show. Flesh Gordon was a midnight show at the theater. Great stuff. Good times. Street corner. Mr. Goodbar.
Look at that
Mr.
bottom
Goodbar
right
says-
hand. Look at that, Mr.
Do it today.
Look at them guys. I tell you, it just reminds me. You see all those guys under the Go Watch Yourself? They look like Spy versus Spy, don't they? You know the white one, the white guy, the white spy, I should say. The good
Nosy.
spy. Just the good man says.
Yeah, it's good spy.
Couple suggestive things floating there in the pool.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
Do it today.
Do it today.
do it today.
Yep.
Have you seen that film where that guy is the devil? He's in jail. Have you seen it? I can't remember what it's called. From the 90s.
Is it the Sandman?
I'm not sure what it's called, but he gives everybody the wish.
Wishmaster.
Yeah, have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen some
No.
clips.
Yeah, seen the clips. Yeah, see when that girl, that girl wants to be beautiful forever, so makes turns her into a doll. You not seen that one?
No,
No,
that's
it's
harsh.
really funny.
some Atomic Comics. Get the line work on that.
Drinking wine and shooting drugs.
It's Wonder Warthog right there.
Oh God, I remember that.
Gilbert
Now
Sheldon.
that is Wonder Warthog does look a little bit like a creation of who's the guy that did the Dandy comics and that. No, it wasn't Dandy. I can't remember his name.
You thinking Hunt Emerson?
Warburton. I'm thinking of is it Warburton?
Wolverton, Basil Wolverton. Yeah.
Basil Wolverton.
Yeah.
Is typical of Basil Wolverton. Yeah.
Yeah. He had a big influence on these guys.
Yeah.
You know, well, you can tell that just looking at the portrait pictures that Wolverton did for Mad Magazine. They ran his he had the cover of Plop from DC for years, doing oddball sketches and
Plop.
weird looking stuff. Yeah. There was a humor magazine that DC did for a number of years called Plop. I think it ran 50, 60 issues, something like that. Sergio Aragonis was a big contributor on that as well. All sorts of just oddball, almost underground style type stuff. Marvel did an underground magazine in black and white for a couple of issues called Comics Book, Comix book, that had some really hardcore underground material in it. I would say very similar in vein to this type of material.
Look at that last panel.
Yeah,
Let's eat.
that's not suggestive at all.
Okay.
Let's eat. Or Mr. Natural.
Crazy Pops.
Soul chicken.
Oh, okay.
Joe Blow.
Joe Blow. I wonder what's coming next. Joe.
Look at that. Hey, Joe, are you pretending to watch TV even though it's not on? Yeah.
Yeah.
The size of his feet.
No, you saw a lot of Jack Davis work here.
Yeah. There's proof that the more things change, the more they remain the same. Look at that. Because I can think of better shows than the ones that are on. You can apply that today, can't you?
Yeah.
This is going somewhere. I think this is going somewhere we don't want to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should probably end there.
Yeah.
leave them wanting more.
We might.
I think the next page may break the internet.
Yeah. You can always
Don't
go
do
back
it.
and.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't show them the next page.
Rookatook says danger, skip.
Skip.
Skip. Skeet.
Yeah.
It's it's 10-2. We can stop here.
Yeah. We can see the next page off air.
We can will he actually turn the page? Tune in next time.
Next week.
I have to go to the subscription channel.
There you go. Yeah.
If you pay,
Patreon,
you can watch this. Like, if
Start
you
a
pay for the
Patreon
book,
page.
you can read it yourself.
Yep. Gonna put a bookmark in it right there and close it out. Like I said, this is an old off the spine book. We're about halfway through, so we can go one more episode on this. Might have to get out some like little pieces of paper or something to censor some things in the future. But
Yellow stickies. Post-it notes.
Yeah. Folks, that's love.
They're going to be known as nipple notes.
Yeah, nipple notes. Love to 10, an anthology of Robert Crumb from Zap Comix. I don't know if this book is even available anywhere anymore, but if you enjoy the underground scene, this is a collection of Robert Crumb's Zap comics all put together into one very, very poorly printed book. See when the copyright was on this. It's been through a little bit. Yeah, see, first edition, 3,000 copies.
Wow.
I love the 10. Artwork copyright. Doesn't list the date. Yeah. Doesn't list the date. This says it's copywritten to Crumb.
Dedicated to everyone in jail.
Yeah.
Just go back a page and what it says on there. Did it say he got paid fortunes? Just one page. It says, where is it?
Crumb created Zap Comix, which have survived to become the byword for American underground comics. He drew the final 2 issues single-handed, but he drew the first 2 issues single-handed, but was later joined by Gilbert Shelton, Robert Williams, Rick Griffin, Spain Rodriguez, Victor Moscoso, and has acknowledged as liberating. This team has consistently produced the most outrageous monster in the history of comics. The following pieces are the contributions of the man who inspired it all. Yeah. Love to 10, folks. More Robert Crumb next week, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
We'll see if this raises any eyebrows at YouTube and take it from there. Folks, we deeply appreciate you stopping by. We know the majority of our viewership is after the fact. We appreciate you there as well. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this program. No matter when you watch it, it helps our algorithm. Every little gesture that you can do for this show goes to help us be seen by more people. So if you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and whatever platform you're watching us on. We are at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, the Randy Zim YouTube channel, and the Indie Comics Network YouTube channel. And the Indie Comics Network also has a number of other programs that you might want to check out, all comic related as well. And again, we deeply appreciate you stopping by whenever you watch this program. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Glenn, please tell folks how they can find you.
Well, when my internet is working, you can see me on this program for 2 hours instead of 1 on Fridays and on Sundays. But if you go to Amazon, you'll see all my books there. I've got lots of books on there, magazines, all kinds of stuff. And if you go to Fund My Comic, you'll even find stuff on there. But just put my name in Google and something will happen. As long as your internet connection is working.
There you go. Look for Hatch Annotated over at fundmycomic.com. Fundmycomic.com. Look for that over there. It's great.
Go to Amazon, and there's some stuff on there as well.
Yep. Russ, please tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at russleach.com. Go there, sign up for the email list. There are links there to buy the Shadow Kingdom, Atlantean 1 and 2. Just go onto the merch page. If you fancy getting yourself an Only Death Can Save Us t-shirt, hoodie, or mug, you can get that there as well. But thing that's most important is to sign up for that email list so that we can tell you when and where all things Atlantean are dropping. So that's at russleach.com.
There we are. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work on the net all over. If you want to talk to me directly, Facebook's my usual hangout. I have an X account as well, and a few other social platforms, but I'm hardly ever on those. So look for The Atlantean, the 3rd volume, up for campaign here in a couple of weeks. We'll run a trailer for that before we leave. Very proud of that work. Russ did the artwork on it. I wrote the story. 1, 2, all of The Atlanteans are original stories by me. And again, very proud of that work. And we are here twice a week, folks, looking at unusual or just great sequential artwork. Comics by Night on Fridays here. It's starting at 5 a.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday morning, we also do the Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And this Sunday, we're going to be continuing our look at Superman from the 30s to the 70s, which is a great collection of key Superman stories from those eras, all those different decades. And we're about halfway through that book as well. Just got up to the really, really wacky 50s. Yeah, it's the only way you can describe Superman during the 50s and early 60s. Was just incredibly, a lot of whimsical material, some crazy, wacky stuff. So stop by on Sunday for that, 9 a.m. Sunday Funnies, at wherever you found this program. We'll be there. Other than that, folks, try to be social on those antisocial platforms. If you find comics out there that you love, tell people. You don't have to do all drama and trolling all the time. And that kind of marketing only, gives you a temporary dopamine hit, where the comics that you read as a kid stays in your heart forever. You should tell people if there's a great comic out there that you reread, or come across, or dug out of your boxes. Let folks know. Give comics as gifts. There's not enough sequential artwork out there right now, especially good ones. So give comics away as a gift if you can, especially since, holiday season's right around the corner. Since it's a holiday this weekend over here, everybody's shooting off their fingers with fireworks. You can already see the firework factories blowing up and the fireworks stores catching fire. Lots of fun here in the United States, folks, just enjoying our independence. It's got a classic video of a guy who's holding a bottle rocket like this. And luckily the camera turns away before it explodes. So all you hear is the guy go, "My hands, I've lost my fingers." But anyway, try to keep all your fingers and toes this weekend, folks. Have fun, enjoy yourself, be with your family if you can. Stop talking politics. Just enjoy that hot dog or hamburger and the weather. So thanks again for stopping by. Deeply appreciate you being here. See you on Sunday.
See ya.
Zvedanya.
Everybody, take care. Oh, we have a word of the day. Mexican or Appalachian?
Got to be Appalachian. That girl's great.
Appalachian? Okay.
She's great.
The Appalachian word of the day is July.
Hi, y'all. It is again time for our Appalachian word of the day. The word of the day is July. I trusted you and you cheated on me. Why July?
Oh dear.
Folks, take care, folks. If you enjoyed this program, hit that like or love button. Yep. We'll see you soon. See you on the next one. Take care, everybody. He said scrolling upwards frantically. Here we are. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta kick a bitch in the cooter. And
nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
Fucking damn it! Oh, fucking damn it! Oh, fucking damn it!
In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull in his right hand ruled the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures and sign up now for news with the email list at russleach.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
How can he close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at...
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.